Largest and most successful community playhouse in the United States. There are two performing spaces. There's the main stage and the Howard Drew, and they both do a full season.
Correct.
Heading into the 84th season.
Woohoo!
The show that's opening on Friday and playing through the 21st is called Intimate Apparel.
Yes.
And you, my dear, we see each other on social occasions a lot. You've been so excited about this.
So it's perhaps the most beautiful play I've ever had the privilege to work on. This is a fairly new play written in 2006 by an African-American female playwright. Her name is Lynn Nottage. It's a story that takes place at the turn of the century, 1905, Manhattan, New York City. And there are only 6 characters in it. The main character is Esther. And Esther is a 35-year-old African-American woman who sews intimate apparel for women. And she has great discretion. So she sews not only for a millionaire's wife on Fifth Avenue, but for a prostitute in the Tenderloin district. She's 35. She lives in a boarding house. She is very lonely, and she has an opportunity through a letter that comes to her that introduces her to a man, a Barbadian immigrant who's working on the Panama Canal. Of course, remember the time that was all happening, and he writes to her, and they write back and forth. What we find out in the play is she can't read or write, so her clients help her to write the letters to him, and ultimately he will come and propose marriage, and he will come to New York to marry her. And you will find that she isn't who he expected her to be. Neither is he who she expected him to be. There's another character in the play that sells her the fabrics that she makes these beautiful corsets and chemises from. He's a Romanian Jewish man. And the two of them have a relationship that you know is meaningful, but they can never act on it because of his faith and her race. Everybody in the play is compromised by their faith or their financial circumstances or their gender or their race. It sounds kind of meaningful and important, but it's terribly moving. It's a character study, and it's also an incredible story that is based on a kind of life of Lynn Nottage's own grandmother, who was a seamstress in New York, who married a man from Panama.
What a great, so many levels.
Yes.
Very rich.
Yes, very, and very accessible. And her writing is quite remarkable. This music that you're hearing is part of the kind of, it isn't a musical by any means, but the ragtime music of the period helps us set the mood and the place. It takes place in 6 different, Lynn Nottage would call them boudoirs. And so we have this remarkable set by James O'Thus that allows us to go from one boudoir to the other without ever interfering with set changes or anything like that. It's very clever and very, very warm sort of environment for this play.